What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, what's up? What's up, Fight Family? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where the wall fights start. Come on, people. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know, Subriel Matias found not guilty. Can I get a come on, man. Come on, listen. Not guilty. You heard? You heard? And Terence Crawford goes on, you know, goes on a, like a campaign against the WBC. We're gonna be sharing what he had to say, all that and more. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. Boy, I tell you, listen. Let's go, Subriel Matias. Let's go. Come on. Right? Listen, I went to bat for the man. I even got kicked off the boxing voice for the man because I was bringing up accusations. Okay, maybe I was over speaking in some regards, but I feel that, you know, uh, making you know, a boxing educated guess, right? I'm in my right to make an educated guess. And I would say that after a fight where a man lost his life, being the fact that Subriel Matias was a convicted, not state prison of FBF federal prison, I would think that an investigation was launched. And for doing so and not being, I was shunned upon, but nevertheless, he is not guilty. The WBC organization, Mauricio Suleiman, took to social media and it's all over everywhere. You can go see it on Ringside Magazine, Boxing Source. You could see it. It's a multiple. If you want, I'll put it up, for you guys can read it yourselves or whatever. But um, basically what it said was that he was under the threshold, that they don't feel that no foul play was, and that it was a contaminated substance, thereby placing him, not totally out of the woods, but the WBC showing that as a boxing organization, they are holding these fighters accountable and they are at least trying to do something. So what would they do? They put him on a year probation. So they're going to be watching Subriel very closely. Now, all on Subriel's dollar. It's all on Subriel's dollar. Yes, he has to pay for his testing. Yes, he does. Mauricio Suleiman made that in the comments, but he did add before he closed, and I repeat, not guilty. Mauricio Suleiman said he did nothing wrong. There is no foul play here, and that's what I like to hear. In history, you don't always, don't want to be the first one of your people to do such an act. You don't want to be the first, right? I'm glad that he was acquitted by the experts that know this. Not me, not you, not I, none of that. The experts deemed him to be not have an advantage, and what they found was below the threshold, that it was not a significance to place him on a suspension. So the professionals are the ones that declared this, not me. I didn't. I don't make the rules. And the people that make the rules, you know what they said? Not guilty. That's what they said. So I got to go by what? What they said. When in this world are we going to keep paying the price for something we got found not guilty for? So it is what it is. I'm glad this matter has been concluded. I'm glad that the fight is scheduled in the Barclays Center in New York City on the 10th January. And I'm glad that, he was exonerated. I am happy for him. As a fighter, there is a lesson to be learned here. There is. There is a lesson to be learned. These athletes need to tighten up their circle. They need to watch what they put in their body and what they eat. This could be you. To all the young fighters looking and watching this story unfold, this could be you. Tim Bradley took to social media and he was real, like, thorough, so to speak. Like when I was getting a massage, I would make sure that what they was wiping down or putting the oils on me, no, use this. And I was making sure that even if they, no, when you sparred me and you came in, you boxed me, I got the gloves you were gonna spar me with. No, you're gonna wear these gloves. Because I guess you could put something on the gloves that can contaminate me. That's when a fighter is trying to overcoat something. Tim Bradley was trying to get a point across and he just laid it on thick. I was like, damn, let me get my fucking boots because the shit is thick. Because Tim Bradley is acting like everybody has the means and the finances to do all that while they're coming up. That's bullshit. Are you referring to championship guys that are established? Is that what you're referring to? Then say that, Tim Bradley. Not every boxer got that. Get the hell out of here. Tim Bradley's a straight liar. Oh, I would wipe down the table and get the man, Tim. If you don't stop, at what point did you start doing that? You didn't do that your entire career. So stop it. So address when you started doing it, at what level. When did they start testing you, Tim Bradley? Like, and then we're going to get into like what Terence Crawford had to say about the WBC. I want you guys to pay close attention to what Terence Crawford had to say. Now, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, right? Because Terence Crawford is an established professional boxer. He had all 4 belts and he has 5 divisions, and he's the first man in boxing history to have all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions, right? When you're that accomplished and you talk, you have to understand that the world is listening and they believe that everything that you say, you should be boxing educated. They believe that Terence Crawford is a boxing historian, that he knows all the ins and outs of boxing, and that can't be further from the truth. The truth of the matter is the last person to really know about everything in boxing is the boxer. What the boxer knows about is fighting, boxing, training. They do their job. They're not responsible to know everybody's name in the division, up, down, former champions. You got to understand that you're dealing with some of the biggest egos in the world. These men believe they're the best. There's no reason to study anybody else. Just look at me. So you have to understand that boxers, there's a lot of times they've been on shows, platform. They ask me, "Hey, what about this guy?" Well, I don't know about that guy. I didn't watch his fight. I didn't watch this. Most boxers don't even watch boxing. They don't watch it. A lot of boxers don't know the historical and the reporting part of boxing. It doesn't mean they didn't know about boxing. Terence Crawford knows more about boxing. He forgot more about boxing than I know when it comes to the actual boxing. So, but you have to let's listen to what Mr. Terence Crawford had to say, and I'm gonna put it up right here. I would like you to watch this with me right here. Hold on. Where do I have it here? Okay, right here. All right, let's see here. Crawford speaking out to the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman.
Man. Listen. I got something to say. I got a lot to say. What's up, though, everyone? I'm gonna say that first and foremost. I'm gonna just say what's up. But I gotta dive right into it. I see Mauricio, got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? Then he gonna tell me I ain't even apologize. Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanctioned bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. The fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker. What are you talking about? You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them. How in the world all the sanctioned bodies agreed to the same amount, but you sit your motherfucking ass up there and say that I need to apologize to you? The fuck? You can take the fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway. The fuck am I paying you every time I step foot in the fucking ring?
Okay, let's dissect what he said. And of course, Terence Crawford, right? The reason why I bring him up, yo, guys, can we please hit them thumbs up, like the like button for me? Can we hit that? Just take your time out. Hit that. All right. Let's dissect what Terence Crawford had to say. And the reason why I bring this story with the Subriel Matias story is because they're both dealing with the WBC. Notice the correlation. And we're going to swing back around to Subriel Matias. So stay in here because we're not done talking about Subriel. Okay. So Terence Crawford comes out and says, yo, WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, who the hell do you guys think you guys are? You want me to pay you $300,000 and another $100,000 on the back end for something? What makes you so much better than everybody else? Well, okay. This is where I say that the boxer, sometimes the fame and what they did can really, because why not? Terence Crawford's him. He could say whatever the hell he wants. Whatever Terence says, that's the way it goes. He could change the color right now. That's not red anymore. It's fucking purple. The red just turned into purple, bro. And the thing is like when you get to those kind of thresholds. I guess Terence Crawford forgets what the WBC did. What makes the WBC so much better than all the other belts? Hey, Mr. Terence Crawford, did the IBF, the WBO, or the WBA make you a ring? That big ass gold ring that said the WBC on it that you was rocking, that you can open up and it shows the event inside. Did any other organization make you a ring or make a ring for the moment? Hey, how about that other tricked out belt? They gave you a WBC belt and another tricked out belt on the side to commemorate the moment that you shared the ring with Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's a one-of-a-kind belt. There will be no other belt ever made like that. And you own it. What makes the WBC so much better than it? What other organization did anything remotely close for you than that? And then he says the real belt is the ring mag. What a joke. What a coincidence. The guy that pays your check, Turkey Alex Sheik, right? You're backing up his belt? Wow, Terence Crawford. Really? Wow, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, right. What makes the WBC so much better is all the shit they do. That ring was not cheap. I know that the Ring magazine made like $150,000 ring belt too. So that ring belt wasn't cheap neither. But that ring by itself, plus those two belts they gave you, that tricked out belt, that's a one of a kind. In 30 years, they're going to be collector. When you're gone, Mr. Terence Crawford, people are going to seek out that belt. That shit's going to go on an auction for like a fucking $1 million. That belt right there, it solidifies a big night in boxing against Mexico, against their biggest guy. That you made a weight jump, became a 5-division world champion, and set a record and became a 4-belt era undisputed champion. If no one can top that, how long in history will that record hold? And that belt commemorates that night. That belt right there is going to turn into something. That's what the WBC does. And Terence Crawford is up there saying, what makes you so valuable? Why you want 300,000? Well, that's why. That's why they price is high. Because ain't none of these other belts doing shit for you. Or for the night. And if you're going to walk around as an organization declaring to be the best, I guess you would be the most expensive. That's the best, right? But this rant that he has, just to come out and say that the Ringside Magazine belt was the best belt. Who paid you to say that? Who paid you, Terence Crawford, to say that? The ring's the best belt. Really? And you're asking Turkey for 100. And Turkey, you're fighting for. And Turkey's paying your. Come again? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yo. No, I don't agree that the Ringside Magazine belt is the best belt. We fight in a 4-belt era. You need one of those belts to be called champion, and it's not the ring. All the belts are trophies at the end of the day. It speaks to where you have reached in the sport of boxing at the highest level. It signifies all your body of work. And it speaks that you are the best in your division. Unifying titles is something that other champions, to prove their dominance as the best fighter in the division, they seek out other champions. And at the end of the day, if you were ever so fortunate or lucky to unify and become undisputed champion of the world, you can only do that by unifying all four major sanctioning bodies, which include the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO. You do not need the Ringside Magazine belt to be called undisputed. You don't need it. So if you don't need it to be called undisputed, then it ain't. Nice try, Terence Crawford. It is a prestigious belt. It is a prestigious trophy. Ringside Magazine. It has been around for a very long time, but it's still the same belt that it's always been. I understand what it is. It's the best fighting the best, kind of. And I wish it was always like that. You know, people are going to hear me say that. And I know some of you guys are going to fight me on that and say, wait a minute, they gave it to this guy. He didn't fight the best fight. Yeah, I look, you know, when Oscar De La Hoya had it, the ringside, it was kind of like a popularity contest belt. The most popular fighters ended up with it. Not always the most deserving. The ringside belt fluctuated in its meaning throughout the courses of the years. It used to be like the people's champion type shit. It's a very, very honorable belt to have. Then we entered an era where, you know, it got crazy. The ring belt. And then a lot of people frowned upon it. A lot of hardcore fans, real hardcore fans, stuck with it throughout the years. They show it its respect that it's rightfully deserved. The Ringside Magazine belt, it deserves a lot of respect. It's been around so long. Um, you know, um, it's been in the Rocky movies and everything. You know, it is strong, man. And you know what Turkey's trying to do with it right now, he's trying to bring up its value once again and quickly have you forget its history and everything that came along with the Ringside Magazine belt. You know, they're like, nah, don't worry about anything that happened then, just right now. And they're trying to establish themselves. I've said this, that when Turkey Al-Sheikh came into the game, that was one of the smartest moves he made by buying the Ringside Magazine, because there's a belt attached to it that has history and legacy. And I said this, I said it wouldn't be long, or it shouldn't be that hard to turn that belt into like like they're gonna have to acknowledge it in a 5 belt era. You know, if you got 2 belts in the ring, they're gonna say you have 3 belts now. You know, they're gonna have to acknowledge the ring, and that's where Turkey, I think, is taking it to. That there's gonna be a point in time where, you know, and it's not gonna be far off. Uh, I'm not sure about this fucking TKO league. I, I haven't heard shit about it. It's kind of like drifted to the side a little. Um, and I don't know what his plans are, but he's got something with the Ringside Magazine. He's just got to put it together. That's it. He's got to, just put it together. That's it. And then, like, when Terence Crawford is yelling about this WBC shit, right? And the high pay, who do you think pays these secretaries and the people that answer the phones in the WBC headquarters? Who pays their salary? You think that the WBC should work for free and they shouldn't charge no sanctioning fees? What would regulate at least the structure that we have at least now? What made the WBC so popular? It was their pursuant quest to be a staple in boxing and to say that our belt is worthy to fight for if you ever want to become a professional boxer. What they have created throughout years and years, his dad, everything, right, is is a long time. You know, it's work. It was a process to create this belt for one guy to come out of left field because he's a great fighter and to just shit on your ways. Why do I pay this? Why do I do that? Because this is how we built this shit. This is how Mauricio Suleiman goes out and does the amateur boxing tournaments. He does that World Series amateur boxing thing, that under 10. It was like a prospects. He has like a doping thing for the WBC. He has like this fund that pays for like fighters, former WBC champion. You got to be a WBC champion now, right? Um, and life after boxing. You know, some of these men suffer the ultimate price, and the WBC quietly works in programs and in connection with their former champions. I guess you would have to be a champion and to know that they really don't. WBC doesn't really strut their horn, and they're always talking about all the shit they actually do for fighters. It's a cut, dirty business at times, yes. And some things that the WBC does can be frowned upon. Getting the announcement that Conor Ben was the number one at the 147-pound WBC now world title, or WBO to what was no, I think he's the WBC number one, right? Wasn't it? So, and to the Mario Barrio and Ryan Garcia, right? So some of the decisions that they make that can be frowned upon. I remind the boxing world that Mauricio Suleiman, the way they run the WBC, they have a board member of 32 board members, and they elect the fighter they deem worthy to fight for their belt. It's not always the number one, number two, number three. Sometimes, he can run it like a business. And that's exactly what the WBC is. I remind the boxing public that boxing is a business disguised as a sport. And sometimes money is the first thing. And for an organization like the WBC that has high standards, and these are their fees if you want to be their champion, to brush them along because you don't feel that you don't want to pay now for what the fees were. Mayweather were paying these kind of fees even back in his day to the WBC. So it's not like things have changed that much. I remember that Mayweather got a fine for missing like 2 pounds in a fight, like $150,000, and that's was just for missing pounds, 2 pounds. It was like $300,000, 150,000 a pound, type shit. So, you know, uh, so I think that this is a situation that Terence Crawford is just really like trying to get in boxing and take everything from boxing, because I think that this is my opinion. I think that Terence Crawford's in a situation that feels that he gave his life to boxing, and boxing didn't respond in the way he thought it should have. And now he's squeezing boxing for everything he should have gotten throughout his career, if you understand what I'm saying. That's my personal opinion of the man. And I think that Terence Crawford right now is he's playing the type of game with boxing that it might hurt him on the back end. Stay with me. When he retires and it's all said and done, and we look back at Terence Crawford's greatness, his title run, the 5 divisions, and how he did and how he fared against the champions. And what most importantly, what did you do with your belts? You understand? And Terence Crawford didn't defend many titles at all. The WBO title that he had was one of the most defended titles that he ever had that I can remember. He never defended any of the belts after unifying all four belts and becoming undisputed with Errol Spence Jr. And he hasn't defended any of the belts of late. In the 154, when he won that belt, he didn't defend the WBA or the interim belt, the WBO he had. He didn't defend any of that. Then he moved up, beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, and now he's being stripped for the WBC, which these organizations are quickly seeing a pattern with Terence Crawford. And these are businesses, organizations that need to make money on their belt. As long as Terence Crawford, they feel, had those belts, they weren't going to make any money. It's ironic that IBF hasn't come. I think the IBF will come next. If you ask me, they're going to strip them next. The IBF. I thought because the IBF stripped them first at 147 because they realized, bro, he's fighting at 154. He's not doing nothing. Our belts are collecting dust. We're not getting any money. And Terence Crawford, in his own interview, revealed to you, why do I got to pay you a sanctioning fee every time I fight? Every time I fight. So every time you bring that belt into the ring, you're advertising for the IBF, for the WBA, the WBO. It is in attendance. And for the belts provide for you the world stage and their belt that throughout the courses of years, the men and women that held them. When you hold the WBC, I guess in that moment, Mayweather had that belt. Canelo had this belt. You know, Mike Tyson had this belt. Like all the champions that had that belt. Like, damn. And that's what makes it. So, you know, so I shared with you guys a little bit about this. I want to get back to the Subriel, but I want to read up on some of you guys' messages. So let me go back in the chat, click up with you guys, and let me catch up. Yo, salute to everybody in the chat. I hope you're having a great time. All right. What? No one is stripping him for a second belt to Terence Crawford? I'm not sure, but it might happen because they might feel that he's not going to defend the belts. Or maybe he will with the rest of the belts he has. Maybe he'll fight Saul for the rest. I don't know. But according to what's going on, they already took one. So in the 147 pound, they stripped them of the IBF. They upgraded Jerron Boots Ennis, right? Then little by little, they started taking the other ones. I still think he had like two belts leading into the fight at 154 pounds with Israel, Terence Crawford, right? Then he still had the 154-pound one, and he vacated the WBO 154 and went out and fought Saul. But BoxRec and other boxing websites still had him listed as the 154. Then he finally relinquished the 154. The other kid, and how do you say his name? Billy, Abayi, he was elevated. So now him and Xander are gonna fight for unification for Terrence's old belt there. See, so now Terrence, you know, it's kind of like, what is he gonna do? Because he never defended the belt at 154. He never defended the interim neither. He only fought once at 154. He defended the IWBO multiple times, and once he got the belt from Spence, he never defended any of the belts of the 4 belts. So, in all 3 of Terence Crawford's divisions where he's gotten all 4 belts, he never defended the 4 belts. And I think that that was kind of a mistake. And one guy said to me, when I saw that Terence Crawford went up and beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, that pissed him off because it proved to him that he could have beat everybody else from 154, 160, and he could have, really dominated and showed dominance with all the belts. He could have gave all the top guys shots at the belts, and he could have really cleaned out the division. You know, and I was like, damn, because the only thing that's going to hurt him, Terence Crawford, is after he retires. That's it. After he retires, there's going to be those 1 or 2 people or whatever amount of people that are going to come out and said he never became full status champion. Because amongst champions, what do they say? All right, it's one thing for you, young Xander and Abdullah Mason, to become world champion. Congratulations. But it's another thing to defend the belt, like Brian Norman Jr. did. When Brian Norman Jr. won his belt and then got elevated to full status, he had to go out and get a title defense. You completed the championship ritual as a champion. You won it and you defended it as a champion. But Terence won the belts. He doesn't have a long line of defending them. And I think that's going to hurt him in the end. But his accomplishments, you can't take nothing away from that. He is who he is. Terence Crawford is him. He's him. If it was easy to do what he did, why doesn't anybody else do it? Why can't anybody else do that in the world? Out of all the best boxers we have, tell me one guy that can do some shit like that. It's just that Terence had a lot of hiccups in his career. Suing Bob Arum, fucking Corona epidemic didn't help him. You know what I'm saying? 2 years of that shit. There was a lot of roadblocks in Terence's career. And he really didn't get those kind of title defense fucking moments and shit. By time he was where he was at, he wanted to be valued for who he was. And then he started fighting once a year type shit. Standing his ground. No, I'm worth this much. I'm worth this much. I'm worth this much. And Terence was, and he was. I think Terence could have still beat all those guys, but at the end of the day, if I say that, that would be my opinion. And people would be saying that I would be glazing Terence Crawford. Because I think he's the best. I think that I've never seen any fighter like that shit, bro. Do the switch from right to left like that, man. He was a fucking natural. Yo, when they say that at the end, oh, he doesn't have all these title defenses, but what's telling me who would have stopped them? Who would have stopped Terence Crawford? Let's just be honest. But at the end of the day, when I say that, I understand that there's going to be the people that say, yeah, but Edwin, he didn't do it. He didn't do, you know what I mean? Your talk is cheap. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to be fucking criticized for, speaking non-facts about Terence Crawford. I still think he's the best fighter in the world. I don't think what he did was easy. But to beat Saul like that, shit, that shit wasn't easy, man. Listen, I think he's the greatest fighter, man. But if I fucking come to bat too much for Terence, I'm glazing. If I don't, I'm hating. It's never a fucking fine middle with this guy, man. Never. For me anyway. You know what I mean? People just want to hear what they want to hear. Uh fucking love Terence Crawford, man. Um I just hope that they give him the credit he deserves. They give him the credit that he deserves. Every fighter, every boxer, bro, deserves their own credit for what they did. I don't think that you have to fucking necessarily outdo everything that that other boxer did to become considered great. I think that Terence Crawford's the greatest in our era, hands down, and that's it. I think that Saul Canelo Alvarez is the greatest Mexican boxer. I think Neo Inoue is the greatest Japanese boxer. You know, to rightfully so. They all have their place in this sport. So say what you want. Say what you want about these guys. If I don't say too much, I'm hating on them. If I say too much, I'm glazing. If I say too much about Devin Haney, I'm getting Devin Haney checks. If I say anything about negative about him, I'm fucking hating on Devin Haney and the brother. You know what I'm saying? It's really never like it's always a tightrope for me in this, or at least they try to like make me think that I really don't give a fuck. You know how I roll. You know, I'm gonna always give you different sides, so that you can see things in different angles. Uh, you know, in Terence Crawford's situation with the WBC in this in the same breath, the WBC was looking over Subriel Matias' situation. Subriel Matias, a Puerto Rican born fighter, and respectfully so, is a two-time 140-pound champion. He currently has the WBC, and he was the former IBF 140-pound champion of the world. Now I have to be, you know, transparent here. I look, I am Puerto Rican, but I am happy that Subriel Mathia was found not guilty. I am happy for this fight. Now, what I am not happy for, and I feel sad, and I hope that you guys can start a fund for Dalton Smith because he's gonna need it for his hospital bills because he about to get rocked because all the scrutiny they put on Subriel Matias and all this false accusation they put on that man and the island of Puerto Rico holding their breath and watching Subriel go through this trial and tribulation. And to everybody that shitted on Subriel Matias and you had a lot to say about the man, remember, keep that same energy because every one of you are responsible for this ass whooping Subriel Matias is about to give to fucking Dalton Smith on January 10th in New York City. And boy, you guys better show up and show out for the man. All you Puerto Ricans come out with me. I gotta be there. You guys know it. I'm round one. Help me get there, damn it. This shit ain't cheap. I got to get in the building. See if I get me some credentials and I wear something real nice or something. Listen, let's remember all you dirty mother, right? That then said something about the man, that said he was cheating, all this shit. We got video. It's on the internet. We remember. We're gonna look you up. Remember, keep that same. You're all, every one of you are fueling the fire for Subriel Matias. You all did this to this man, Dalton Smith. When it's all said and done, he got all of you to thank for this ass whooping he about to get. Then it was announced that the winner is absolutely gonna fight Alberto Puello, which is the next guy up. So I think, I don't want to go past Dalton Smith. Let's stay on this ass whooping first. Because Puerto Rico, stand up. We about to go up in there and show out in New York City. All right? Might as well call that Little Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? New York, where you at? Fucking La Isla, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yo vengo del caserío de Nueva York, papi. You know what I mean? You know, it's might as well, right? So, I'm trying to tell you, you don't think that Subriel Matias lost some sleep behind his shit? You think Subriel Matias, his team, fresh, they didn't hear everybody that was talking and downing the man? You don't think they heard that? And I hope Subriel Matias and his team and all of them heard me loud and clear, because I went down, I stood on my square, bro. I shield in the front. Let's go. I was battling out there, battling, because I didn't believe it. I know the man personally. I spoke to him. We sat there, we joked, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look, you know, people could cheat, all right? But I'm going to stand on my square and I'm not going to back down. I looked into the man's eyes. He don't strike me as one. I feel like I'm a good judge of character. I'm glad he was acquitted and we got ourselves a fight. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Justice was served and I'm happy. I'm happy. You know why I'm happy? Because the pros, the professionals told me so. Not some Instagram rumor or some guy typing on Twitter. No. You know who told me he's not guilty? The pros. The people that set the rule. And if you set the rule and you deem him worthy and clean, well then, damn it, then that's what he is. You're the pros. It's not my opinion that dictates your being guilty. You know how many people still thought O.J. Simpson did it? He was acquitted. Not guilty. Nope. He did it. I don't care what you say. He had his day in court. They said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. That's what they said with OJ. He was innocent. Damn it. That's it. How many times are you going to beat the case, beat the rap, and still be, oh, no, he did it. Well, you know what? It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Who you think's going to help you? My troops? Smiley? My guys are gonna, you think my guys are going to help you? My guys ain't going to help you. Prove you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let's shit is fire. Come on, man. Hit that damn like button. Let's go, people. Come on, man. Yeah, we're going to drop the link today. Let me hop out this sweater. Getting hot up in here. I was outside shoveling and shit. Fucking, I got like my pajama pants on. Let me drop the link today. Yeah, I haven't been dropping the link a couple days. I'm in a mood for, you know what I'm saying? I'm a bit of a conversationalist. So, with respect, come up. Keep it respectful always. And we can have a boxing conversation. Absolutely. I just dropped the link in the chat. It is, I believe, Streamies. Same kind of little process like OBS or StreamYard or any of those other ones that you would. It's just a small process, and so okay, here we go. My man, who we got here? Who we got? Oh no, that's on my side thing I have. Let me drop that. In fact, that confused me. So yo, where do I have it? Oh, right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. All righty then. So like that's what you got to do. Matias not guilty. Not guilty. Hope they like eating crow. Georgie says, yes, 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 yes. I think I have somebody trying to join here. Rachel? Oh shit, Rachel Donaires. Why? Hello,
Hey,
hello, hello. Long time no see. How you been doing, Rachel? How's the family? How's the champ doing?
I mean, I just got back from Bangkok. I was at the WBC convention. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so all this fun stuff you guys are talking about, I was there for just a couple days because it's only a 3 hour flight directly from where I am in the Philippines.
okay.
So we did a day trip and, went out to go see hi everyone that's in the WBC and then came home. Today's an off day. We have sparring tomorrow. We have this sparring and one more sparring before we take off for Japan.
Wow. Wow. So you're moving around real busy schedule. So um you came all this way, you traveled. What's on your mind? Talk to
Nothing. I was just, like it was interesting that, what had happened with Bud and his response
oh,
and kind of like the different responses of the boxing community, of how people are viewing it in different ways. What's your opinion?
well, my thing was this, right? That I broke it off, try to break the ice and say that all boxers are not boxing historians. Usually that they're kind of like self-centered. So when they talk and Terence is in his situation, he's kind of talking of a man that feels like, he's worth it, right? He's trying to campaign for his big fight deal and so forth, so forth. And in doing so, I think he just overspoke a little, right? And then when he came out with the WBC in that regard, when he came out and then and started taking shots, why should I pay you 300,000? And I said, and he said, what makes you so different than any other organization? And I said, well, I didn't see the WBA, the IBF, or the WBO making you out a tricked out ring that said WBC on it. I didn't see any of the organizations making another tricked out belt to commemorate the event. That's a one of a kind belt. That belt
Mm,
is going to go on your shelf, and in 20 years from now, people are going to say, "Yo, we want it. I'll buy that belt right there," because that belt's going to say that was the first time you became a 5 division and 3 belt in a 4 belt era, or had all 4 belts. So that's the highest pinnacle in your career, Terrence, on that night. So
mm.
that in 20 years, that belt is going to do that. So the WBC does these things, and I think that that's what makes them better than some of the other organization, and that's why their price is so high. So you
But
know,
wait. The price is not high. It's always well, technically,
yes,
it's always the same. It's 3%. Every sanctioning body is 3%. And the fact that it went down to what did they say 0.6%, which of course, like, like the whole thing is that it's supposed to give back to the organization, to
right,
for whatever they're doing, whether it's the logistics. The belt itself is not free. The people they have to
right,
send out, like the what do you call that I think it's called the supervisor from the WBC, um the rooms, the flights, all that stuff, in addition to sanctioning the fights, ranking the fighters like at the WBC convention, and when they're not having the WBC convention, I think they have it on Zoom once a month. An entire panel virtually sits together, and they have to go through every single division, every single fighter, and re-rank these people. So it's not like he's, being singled out that he's the only one who has to
right,
pay. Nonito's had all 4 belts. He's also had the IBO at one time.
right,
Um, and he's had to pay every single time. And I will tell you that there is one time that Nonito was supposed to walk in the ring with the IBF championship. It was against Nishioka.
mm,
Okay. And at that point, it was just too much, a lot of sanctioning fees, and Nonito just said drop the IBF. And so, what
right,
do you think? The IBF let us fight for their belt without us paying them? Of course not.
mm-mm.
So I don't really understand. But I do think that this is kind of a bigger play, in my opinion. I
Okay,
think that they've been trying to push this one belt era, right? Which, of
Right.
course, that's what we would all want, but we want it done right. And you have to remember that fight was under Zuffa. It was under Dan. What's his name? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just woke up. So, Dana White.
Okay.
Is under Dana White, and they already want to have their own belt, one belt for them, right?
Right.
And Mauricio was told he couldn't. First of all, there's a time where Canelo, I think Reynoso was trying to give Canelo the WBC belt, and they wouldn't let Ring. Turkey had like motioned off Reynoso, saying, "No, no, no, don't give him the belt."
Hmm.
Then at the fight, they wouldn't let Mauricio into the ring. If you're not going to recognize the belt, why the hell do you have them there?
Right.
Like, I'm sure it was a difficult situation for any of the sanctioning bodies. I know Gilberto wasn't even at the fight. He was in Japan, I think, for Naoya. Because
Mm.
I'm pretty sure they all got told, you guys can't go in the ring. And I'm just guessing Gilberto's like, well, if I can't get in the ring, why am I going to go? I'll just go to the Naoya Inoue fight, which I know I can go into the ring.
Mm.
Um, So that being said, I think that's the bigger play because it's been moving towards, this one belt Zufa, the ring quote unquote magazine belt,
Right.
and all these things that I think and there's so many other different like weird things that are going on. They're supposed to get deducted in the from as soon as they're out of the fight. Like, soon as you get your purse, you're supposed to immediately get deducted all the sanctioning fees. But this was ran by Dana, who's never ran a boxing event. So I don't know if that was a mess up, but I know that other
Could be.
commissions,
Yep.
huh?
It could be. It could be. Yep. Go ahead. Okay. Like when
Yeah,
you
and
said,
so,
yep. Yep.
but the other commissions, BBVOC, you don't pay your sanctioning fees. You get suspended from your license itself. We're the only ones that, I mean, I don't know what kind of hit back Nevada Boxing Commission is going to get, but I mean, they sanctioned an event. They put it like their whole thing on it, like basically did their job with the belt that you were saying, promoted the fight, was at everything, and then basically it's like, okay, well, thanks for the trinket, I'm out.
Right. Right. Now, let me ask you a question. Throughout your husband's experience and you being, side by side with him, watching him go through these fights, and when he wasn't a world champion, watching him try to um put together a world title fight, how difficult was it, even in a four belt era, to get any of the sanctioning bodies to consider you, for a world title or get one of the champions to fight? How difficult was that when you weren't the champion and there was all these interims and belts? Could you describe a situation like that?
Um, Well, before, like, right, we were with Top Rank, and
Okay.
then we were with Ringstar Richard, who has stayed with us for an extremely long time. Um, I always had like, I had promoter backing, right,
Right.
to try to maneuver around the rankings and stuff like that. But as I've gone in, like in the last like 5 6 years, I've gotten into more conventions and realizing what you really have to do, and you have to know the rankings. You can't just come in and petition for number one. It's based on merit. It's based on quality of opponents, not quantity. It's based on your knowledge as well. When I went to the WBC in Acapulco, Nonito was ranked number 4, and I argued his way to number 2 because he because the number 2 and number 3 was Gabayo, who we knocked out.
Knocked out.
Number 2 was oh my god, it's the guy that Jason Maloney had beat, and he had 2 or 3 wins after Jason, but he was fighting debut fighters. And I was like, listen, I was like, Mauricio, if you want us to go find some guy off the street that's never boxed in their life and do a 0-0, debut fighter just so our ranking goes up, then we could do that. Probably not really suggested, but we could do that. And so Nonito moved to number 2, and then they mandated Jason versus Nonito. Never happened because Jason moved to the BO for his championship, right?
Mm.
So it's quite difficult because you have to deal with rankings, mandatories, unifications, and those things could take years.
And that's for all four, right? Each four of them, you're dealing with four different separate entity, different structures, different similar rules, but slightly off, right? Am I right by saying that?
Yeah, yeah. Some of
Okay.
them have different timelines of when you have to do your mandatory.
Hmm.
Like, so you have to be privy about that. And when was the last time that champion did a mandatory and how many months? And
Hmm.
are they trying to vie for unification? We all know how long it takes to get fights put together.
Hmm.
So imagine being a mandatory and the guy just did his voluntary, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to press my mandatory, but then they're like, oh, we're doing a bypass unification, and you're sitting on the sidelines for 2 months seeing if they're actually going to get that unification fight or if they're not, and then they notify you after 2 months. They're like, oh, well, that fell through. So
Right.
now let's try with you. That's another plus 3 months at
Right.
best for you
Right.
to get into the ring with the champion.
Right.
So it's a long hurry up and wait game. Hurry up and get to the top, but then you have to wait your turn.
Right. Right. And that I wanted to talk to you about the process of trying to get a shot at just one belt. And because of Dana White, Turkey Al-Rashid trying to do this TKO lead, and Dana White wanting to offer the boxing world the one belt thing, the one belt era. And if it's this difficult trying to get a title shot, and we have four available ones and interims, right? Imagine one belt. Imagine how narrow the window would be, the path to a victory. And in every division, if there was one belt and that guy wanted to go on a vacation or got hurt or got a sick and he can't perform, what does the rest of the thousand guys in the divisions do? And so I realized that boxing evolved into a four belt era for a reason. We came from a one belt era and we evolved into a four because of this situation, because of the fact that not all the time the right person gets the shot. But if you have enough of them, you have more of an opportunity of catching one of them. Now, the conversation is
I mean,
always,
I agree, but at the same time, you have to think about the fact that look how long boxing has been around.
yeah,
And the belts, right? One's in Puerto Rico, one's in Colombia, one's in Mexico. I
one's
can't
in
remember where
Jersey,
the IBF is.
New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yes.
Um, but the whole point is that without these sanctioning bodies, and I don't believe one was able to do it on its own
Right.
years ago, decades ago. Like, look how separated the world was. Boxing is able to come together now because of the internet and technology and the, faster planes and routes to go to
Mhm.
these things. But that's why you have like WBC, WBA Asia Pacific champion. That's why you
Yeah.
have, the Ukraine champion, like the regional champions first to get them into the rankings of coming up into the tens and the fives. But without those, without that reach of each of them, because again, they all are they all are in different places, and it depends on what they think is that needs to be grown, right? Like it
Mhm.
took a while for Asia to be included, for us to get a representative, and for us to have our own fight offs, and it had to be within the Philippines, and it had to be then Southeast Asia and all these other things to grow. To expect
Mm.
someone, one person or one organization, um, to do all that is a
It's a
quite
lot.
a heavy task.
Yes. I mean the Oregon Pacific titles, the Ukrainian, the titles, the Russian titles, and all those smaller things. And these are all titles that are stepping trophies for your fighter to show that he's ready for the next step. And then, like you said, how could they be like the WBC or the WBC? You know, do this worldwide? It would be so big. So to allow a lot of these a lot of these things are put in place for a reason. Sometimes they don't make sense, and then sometimes you got organizations that abuse the system. And yes, I agree. They start making what we franchise belts and stuff. I'm not with all that, but sometimes greed does play a factor. But I can see where, yes, some of these smaller belts, regional belts, minor belts are important to build your fighter's confidence as he or she is coming up, then get the interims and so forth and so forth. But I also understand it's a money game. It's an ugly business. At sometimes I think there's a too many belts. Sometimes I don't think there's the right belts. It's just a lot of these gimme ones. But
I mean,
whatever
I
I
think I get what you're saying that it's a
Mhm.
money game, but isn't I thought last time I checked, everything is. Even a
Yeah,
nonprofit, you think that the CEO or the president doesn't get paid? They're most of the salary of a nonprofit organization when you donate.
right.
So, I mean, to think that we're going to just accept or be granted anything for free, right? USA
Right.
Boxing, an amateur program, is it free? Hell no, it's not free.
No.
You know? So, these when you and that's just USA Boxing. When you're trying to run a world organization, to think that, oh well, I for example, I did this. Like I yes, as a boxer, yes, you did do that. You did win the crown. But if you weren't in the sweepstakes to be in the crown, then how would you have gotten that crown, right? Um, it
Right.
it takes a lot of effort to do these things, and I think that people forget that. I think that
Yeah.
when they get in a position, it starts to become like, well, I don't have to do what you want me to do anymore, and it kind
Right.
of spits in the face of everyone that you have, I guess, quote unquote, used along the way to get that shot. Because listen, Bud didn't, the four sanctioning bodies had to approve the fight for Bud to fight Canelo,
Right.
right? So if they had to approve the fight, you had to ask them for permission. And you asked them for permission and then said, okay, I don't need you anymore.
Right. I see what you
Does that
said.
make sense? Like,
Yes.
that's where I feel like this
Yes.
got kind of, I think the message should have been a bit more from Bud, and I haven't talked to him about it because I mean, yeah, he didn't come to the WBC. But sometimes fighters, and Onito is guilty of this as well. They speak, from more emotion than really looking at the bigger picture. Did Mauricio back Canelo? I'm sure he did. I mean, like, come on, we're all human. Not back as in financial, but did he prefer Canelo to win? 100%,
Right.
right?
Right.
But at the same time, like, I just feel like it would behoove people, champions, to consider, what they're saying, because it does, reflect on all of boxing. It sways opinions. And now I'm seeing more um lack of knowledge in the sport when people are like, what do they need the 3% for? It's like, what did you think? That the diamonds and the rubies on that belt was just like what? That they
Yeah.
dug them themselves and polished it
Right. Right. Right.
themselves.
Right. That
you
belt cost
know,
like $2,000 to make by itself. Just to
that
sit
one?
off the well, any belt, like if let's say if I wanted to buy a real WBO belt from the manufacturer, they're 1,700.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I know we bought a replica for someone. Nonito wanted to. Oh, it was his godfather who passed. He purchased one and put it on his grave. But that was, I thought it was around like 2,500. I can't really
Yeah.
remember,
No, no, the
but
WBC is higher, and they're all different prices. They're all
Yeah,
they're not the
but the
same.
one
No,
that would for Canelo and Crawford, I thought that was a custom made.
no, that's no. You're talking real big money. I'm not
Yeah,
talking no
yeah,
replica. You're talking big. You're the okay. The one with I know the Ringside magazine was 150,000, right?
yeah.
The Ring bragged about it. They brought it up. They flaunted it. So I know that one was 150,000. Now the ring though, that ring that they made for the event, the WBC, the gold ring that you could.
Oh, the one I wore it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You were there at the convention where you
Yeah,
twist off
no, no,
the
no, no.
cap.
Mauricio had it at the Fountain Blue, and
Oh.
Nonito was sitting with Mauricio, and I saw the box, and I was like, "Oh, like girls, is that jewelry for me?" Like joking, and
Yeah.
he opened it. He's like, "Do you want to try it on?" The ring was huge, right? It
Yeah.
definitely has to be resized for whoever. Well, maybe not. My fingers are small, but the opening where it had like the arena inside of it, it
Mhm.
was so detailed. It was absolutely gorgeous. But like, yeah, like things like that, like it's that one cost. How much did he say how much
I
it
think
cost? Because he didn't tell me.
I think that was 100, a little over 150. It was like 175, something like that. The ring was
Okay, so
slightly
that's
over the
already
belt.
what, half of the 300,000 that they were
Yeah.
that's requesting, right?
And then the
And then
tricked out
Mauricio
belt.
said that
Yep.
yeah, and Mauricio said that he was giving 225 to the Jose Suleiman Foundation, which is the nonprofit that does stuff. And then that leaves 75. So technically, if Crawford had paid, the WBC still would have been at a loss
Yeah.
in honoring the champion.
Right.
So that's where I'm saying, like, it's not like people are every single person in boxing is it's a for profit business.
Mhm.
All businesses are, and so I don't get like they're like, oh my god, 300,000. I'm like, dude, they've always taken 3%, and they didn't even take 3%. So it's not like this is new. I I feel like a lot of people are coming around and just like, oh well, that's 300,000. That's a lot of money. It's like he made 50 million, bro. It's a drop in the
Mhm.
bucket for something that you asked for. So it's like yeah. I mean, I just keep going around that. Like you asked for this fight to be approved, they
Right.
approved it,
And once they
and
approved it,
then
you kinda renege now on,
yeah,
you know,
that's what I
that
don't like. It looks bad. It
right.
look
It looks
like
bad, yeah. Like
it's
you
like
took
bad
the
faith.
yeah, it is. Right. And we checked off on it. You said yes to all the stipulations. You knew what this had to be before you got in the ring and what it was. It was all talked about. This is not something we just laid on you, right? When you walk out the ring, I guess. And then you kind of like say, you know what? I'm not doing it. Um,
No, it's
and
not
like
even that. You have to follow WBC guidelines when you fight for WBC. So they would have
right,
had they would have had a weight check 30, 14, 7, and then weigh-ins. So you're
right,
submitting all these forms to fight for the WBC, and then you're just like, yeah, I just changed my mind.
right. When
So
it came down
good.
to pay the bill,
Yeah.
at the restaurant, so
But okay, here's another one. Well, the same thing I was saying earlier. Does Dana know that it was supposed to be taken out? Like, because we have never had to send a check to any of the sanctioning bodies. It was automatically deducted once we got our purse.
was that a fumble?
That it's possible. I mean, like
Was it?
Dana, I, I would think so, 100%.
He doesn't have the experience, like, because see, Dana's whole thing is he basically has like one promoter that owns like 95% of like his stable. So whenever he does something, I think that it's easier to do with all these other moving parts in boxing. I think he might have fumbled something or didn't dot a few T, dot, a few I's, or he might have forgot something, and that's an interesting point, Rachel, that you bring up. Because if you never did it that way, why is it being brought this way now? And why did
Yeah.
this situation being brought up with? Yeah, I understand.
And
Yeah,
I could also see, like, listen, there's so many times in boxing that I learned early on, when I was working with Cameron Duncan. that a lot of the times what they'll do, I mean, even with a lot of bout sheets, right? Like
Mhm.
they don't get their bout sheet a lot of the times until like the week of the fight.
Mm,
Right? Okay, so
mm,
when you're doing that and you're like 3 months out from a fight and you're like, "Where's my contract?"
right,
"Ah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it." "Well, can I get this?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'll take care of it." And then fight week comes, commission mandates they have to have a signed bout contract. So
mhm,
then that's when you pretty much sign it. But if you 3 months ago didn't put it in writing, didn't email them, didn't text them or anything that this was what discussed and we agreed upon, then you have no leg to stand on. You're cutting weight. How are you going to argue now that you were, let's just say you're supposed to get, I don't know, 20 ringside tickets, something small,
right,
but will piss off a fighter, right?
right,
Um, so I learned early on after I do a verbal meeting and agreement, I always send a summary email. So then it's like, hey, just, this is just summarizing what we discussed. Do you approve this? Da, 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 right? So
right.
now I have something that says it on the day of the meeting. And if there's no kickback where they're like, no, 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 we didn't agree on that. You said it was this or whatever, then it's assumed everything's agreed upon,
Right.
right? But at least you have something. A lot
Right.
of the
You have
times in
something.
boxing, it's the fighter will say, I want this or that. And the manager will be like, okay, I'll take care of it, quote unquote. And then the promoter's like, yeah, yeah, I got you, quote unquote. And then when it falls, everyone's just has mud on their face and the fighter has to deal with the consequences. So there's a couple different scenarios that I could see that could have totally fell.
Mm. Right, 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 right. Yeah, these are you bring up a lot of interesting points on this, and I just want to get your top. Since we've been talking on the topic, so I just before you go or anything, I have to get your thoughts. What do you think about how Terence Crawford is doing this with the WBC, and do you think that it's in I mean, you've already shared your thought on it. Like you think it's distasteful, but I'm saying like as a champion, do you think that this is the right way to go? Champions, it looks good when you vacate, or like what's your thoughts? Your real thoughts on
Oh,
this?
you mean like as far as like defending? Because I was listening to you about
Yes.
defending. I mean, I get it. I just don't. I get what your perspective is. I just don't know if that was his plan, right? Like, because it
Hmm.
literally was a jump, 54 to 68, and
Right.
I don't think anyone thought. I mean, because at first Bud said, "Hell no, I'm not fighting," Canelo, and he came around to it. Um, Coming around to it though, is it the fact that he felt he had a good game plan against Canelo that he could sustain 12 rounds, right? If he had
Hmm.
to. But he's possibly looking at the entire division is like, yeah, that one's going to be a little bit more of a tall order. Maybe if the guy's taller, maybe if the style matchup isn't to his liking. So I think it's just highly dependent, with because at the same time, like if he did defend, and it was a style matchup that was just all wrong for him, now doesn't have that record anymore, and he'd probably want to move back down if those guys are too big. So I look at it like that, like it was he, because everyone thought he was biting off, including me. I didn't give him, I didn't give Canelo a huge margin to beat him, but I definitely was like, listen, Bud is smart. He has high ring IQ. He can adjust. And Canelo has shown, I mean, both everyone has flaws in their game, but Canelo has shown some things that I thought that Bud can expose. But the whole question, whenever anyone asked me about that fight, was can Bud be that big and not lose his best abilities, right? So that being said, is this something that was just more of a push, and he knew that he was going to drop the belt anyway?
Mm, mm. And that's why I asked you this because it's like, were we better off with Saul as the champion in the division, or were we better off Terence Crawford putting his nose in a division he was never going to have a responsibility to? I don't think he was
Well,
gonna be responsible.
I think it'd be really fun though, because here's the thing: if he decides to drop all the belts, right? He got stripped by a BC, but all of a sudden drops all the 68 belts. Guess
Okay.
what? There's going to be a fun scramble, and if Canelo
Yeah.
wants them back, he's going to have to pick them all up again, which I
Mm,
love. I don't super like the one all, like you picked it up on, one fight. I like the scramble of having to pick up all the marbles, because that shows fight by fight you are challenging the best of every division, not to
yeah.
degrade the one that had taken it all, but I just feel like the passing on of that is like,
I
okay,
made
well,
a
you just,
video. I made a video
yeah.
about that. That's that old catch 22, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
that where that you'll beat one guy for all four belts, and one guy will come out and say, "Well, you didn't have to do a lot. You only beat one guy to beat four belts." One guy would say. Then another person would say it's more prestigious to go out and get all the belts individually. But wait a minute. When you beat the guy that has all four belts, isn't he a stronger champion? He's not a one belt champion, he's a four belt champion. So to speak to beating that one guy, he's the equivalent of all four belts. That's what it means, because he has all four belts, and it's that old catch 22. You damn if
It
you
totally is,
do.
because
Right,
then we're doing the triangle theory, right?
right.
Like,
You
and
feel,
in
yeah,
addition
where
to it's
you just
one
keep
night.
going into,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
you feel it,
There's
yeah.
no, yeah, there's no really like great way. Like, both sides have amazing arguments. I just, like I said, like, it just because, okay, so champion A that had beat, B, C, and D, he had a great night those 3 nights. He might have an off night. Everyone has it. You might
Yeah,
have that 45 minutes. It sucked for you. You stubbed your toe and all hell went loose, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then this new, I don't know, Champion Z came out of nowhere and took your belts, right? Um, but also, Champion Z could possibly beat D or C or B. That's not to say that he can't, because the triangle theory doesn't work, because of the fact that, again, it's a whole different 45-minute fight in addition to different styles.
Mhm.
So, it's
And
yeah,
then
I like the marble pickup, because it's like, ooh, unification. Oh, we're going
right,
for it. Like, I like the story
right.
of,
See, see, I see where Terence Crawford fought just one guy, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and won all four belts. But I could also see the strength and the kind of champion that Saul was. He was a four belt champion, but he only had to do it once. Then other guys went out, and he did it in another way. In 140, he got it individually, every belt
mhm.
one at a time. And then in the 147, he fought one guy for three belts. So when you say that about Spencer, he beat the man that beat the man, which when he fought him, that he was a three belt champion. And then there's the other argument, and then I just seem like that's an argument that just keeps going around in a circle, because
Yeah, yeah, you can't
although
win
I
it.
although I can respect, yes, Saul was a four belt champion. Yes, he was a strong champion. You didn't fight a guy with one belt. You didn't fight a guy with two belts. You fought a guy with four belts, right? But you didn't have to do much. Then all of a sudden you become Magic Man Tarver, and this big argument that you were a greater fighter than Roy Jones Jr. And then because you beat him, because on one night you took the belts, and then it just keeps going like this, but
Yeah.
prestigious wise, I hope we can agree on this, Rachel, that I don't think that there's no better way to become a four belt, but to get them individually, one by one. There's no more prestigious way than that for me. I think that that's the most prestigious way. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, no, that's like I said, I love the story, and I think that the stories are telling, especially when you're, going into like the Hall of Fame and things like that. I think when they look at things like who you beat, right? Okay, you
Hmm.
beat this guy, and okay, but did you go one by one, right? Or what,
Right.
did you just take it all in one swoop? And it's, I don't know. I like drop the marbles and play again. Like, it's
Oh
it's a
yes.
fun gamble. Like, that's what boxing is. It's a fun gamble.
Ra-
Um,
Rachel, Naoya Inoue won the last belt off Paul Butler. 30 days after winning that belt, he dropped all the marbles and allowed the scramble. and allow
Mhm.
everybody else to scramble for the belts. Another fighter that is doing so, well, he only had one belt. Did you hear the news about Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez? And what do you think about that fight? And he dropped his belt, I guess.
Well, wait, what happened?
Shakur Stevenson, I guess. Hold on, let me look this up real quick right here on the side because I did see an article here that said that that WBC belt was vacant. No, they still well, according they still got him here, and then on Box Rec right now. Let me check Box Rec real quick. Box Rec has who do they have here? Because they were announcing a fight with Shakur Stevenson and Teal. No, they still
At
got
the
him here
BC?
champion. They still have him champion. What is this guy talking about?
Well, okay. Well, one thing that you have to realize is during the convention, things change. I mean, look, Bud was a champion, he's not anymore, right?
Right.
So I know that there was updated rankings that was coming out, but I don't know what they are. I wasn't able to go to the general meeting. Everything that happened yesterday, which is when Bud got stripped, I already left because I only took 24
Right.
hours out of camp just to go, so I
Okay.
couldn't stay. But that's
Right.
always the best. Like I was mad that the ratings were later in the convention because I love going to the ratings committee. Like it's hilarious. People literally are arguing back and forth on the microphone. So it's like the
Right.
highlight of my
Really?
convention experience,
Yeah.
but I missed it this time. So I'm sure the BC will, or someone has probably already reported on it, like what the BC's like. If you replay the live stream, which usually they live stream it, and you go to that marker of the weight division, it'll tell you like Mauricio will say 135 or whatever, and he'll say championship vacant and then the ratings.
Right.
So
Right.
you'd have to look in back in the video to see it when Mauricio put it up on the screen, is the championship vacant for that weight division.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's I gotta go check that out. There was a lot of things said there, and I gotta also get more connected with a lot of these things. But as I grow my young channel, I always like to hear from people that are in it like you. This is Rachel Donaire. If you're not familiar, get familiar, check her out. Look her up. She's well connected, a boxing promoter in the sport. Always goes to these conventions, is hands on with boxing, knows about a lot of the rules and breaking news and things that are changing and evolving in the sport. And since I'm kind of a historian myself, I always enjoy these kind of conversations and where can the people go and look and know that these things actually exist. These conventions and stuff and the things that go behind the scenes. And
And
I
they're open
always
to the
love.
public.
Yes, they
You
are.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, like you have to buy a ticket to go to the convention because there's so
Right.
many events the entire week. But I mean, you see fans at the conventions all the time, and so anyone that wants to, or if you can't go to these conventions because sometimes they're out in faraway places. Like Germany was last year, and this year was Bangkok. They normally live stream a lot of these things, the general meetings, the ratings, all these things. So even if you can't go personally, you could educate yourself by at least, watching the live streams and seeing what happens and what they're talking about. So it's not like you have to go to these. It's highly beneficial if you're within
Right.
the sport to network.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like if you really care about boxing and not just about the gossip and all the fun weird things that everyone keeps arguing about, um, then these things are available. Even when we're arguing about, not me per se, but
Mhm.
the Boots and the Brian Norman thing, like go look at the rules. We have the
Right.
internet and no one uses it.
Right.
It baffles me that
Yeah.
we're in a knowledge age of the internet and no one can just go and read, and they just, spout ideals from their own emotional biases.
You know what I find with the internet is that even when I go scour it, there's just too much writers. Like you think you go on and you click like me, like I was young at it, right? And I go to Google and I'm like, well, let me go look up this. And I click on some guy thinking, yeah, it's on the internet, it's on the thing, but you got to make sure you check those little side checks and that's
Oh,
actually him.
that's a great point. It's a very big so I think like a lot of people have to go back to English 8th grade level where my son is right now. And works cited pages because a lot of the arguments I keep seeing is like, oh, type it into Google and see what it says. It's an AI summary and it
Right.
has the links for a reason because the AI messes up. And I remember one day someone was arguing with me, I think, with Ness, and he was in the chats. And he was like, it says that I think Snack is not tested by third parties and on Google. So I typed it in to see what he was looking at. I was like, I see where you're saying and it was taking Snack's slogan, tested by athletes, right?
Mm,
That's what it said. But that's not what they mean. Like, um, and you have to click on the link to see where it goes, and you realize it's on Snack's website where their slogan is tested by athletes. That's not to say that they, that's not what I was asking, and AI was trying to figure it out. But though there's a reason there's a paperclippy thingy. You're
right.
supposed to click on it to go more in depth and to
And
verify
mhm,
what you're looking up. But I don't know.
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you had to do a program to
But
teach people how to use it.
listen, my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter shows me up every day, okay? I run to her to be like, "Hey, in a world where I see where, sometimes people can take just somebody typing something and no, this is a fact. I saw it, I heard it here, blah, blah. In this kind of world, you learn by those mistakes. And sometimes they can be costly, but at times it's always just do your due diligence. The internet and Google is our friend, and we can get everything we need right then and there. I was
Well, I
looking
think
up.
a good practice is always saying like, cite your source. So like according to Dan Rayfield, according to Mike Coppinger or whatever. So then it's not you saying it as fact. You're quoting someone that
Right,
said it, not you.
right,
And I mean, a lot of the times, unfortunately, if these people just click the link, they'll realize like you're going to say like, well, this happened. Okay, well, who's your source? Reddit. Okay, no, bro, that's not a source.
yeah,
That's another
yeah,
opinion. You know what I'm saying? And they'll
right,
realize,
right,
I mean,
right,
hopefully,
right.
that that's not the
Yo,
way you do things.
hey, yo, shout out Coach Hector Bermudez. You finally found the channel. Welcome. Thank you. Hey, yo, Coach, I'm about to hit this rematch. I'm going to need your help. Hey, yo, Razor, did you guys happen to catch the best boxing match of the century? Round one sports star. I fought on Border Wars in my little 3 round masters. I went out there, I came up short, but I had fun. I had fun. And, it reminded me of uh the what boxing asks from you. You
Hmm.
can't you
Hmm.
can't really play boxing. Um it was something that I knew that I didn't want to just go in there and fall flat on my face. It asked for me, it required for me to actually get in shape. Under my time frame, to only 2 months or whatever, and years on my couch, I think I performed pretty well. I'm not making any excuses for myself, but I'm about to do it again, and it's just because it's that little fighter, that clicks off in the back of my head. I've been sitting down for a long time, and um, I always said to myself, if I ever had a chance to actually do it, because when I was younger, um, I didn't make the right choices. I wish I could tell you that. I didn't go to the gym. I thought I was young, invincible, and I thought I would never do this. So I had a great time. I went out there. I didn't do it for the money. I didn't get paid anything or anything. I just did it for the love of the sport. I'm 51, and I went out there and I did 3 rounds. I did 3 rounds, and I said, like it's just that fighter that and the competitor inside it, and they were like, "Oh, are you gonna show up? You're gonna gas out in one round. You're gonna throw 8 punches. It's gonna be over." And my my will, my will is what kept me going in that fight for me. And I just, so like, if ever the champ, yeah,
So I wasn't
you
able to
wasn't.
watch it. I wasn't able to. No, send me
All
the
right,
link because, I mean, the time here is so
yeah,
weird, right? Like I'm sipping on my coffee right
okay,
now,
wow,
um, and so I mean, even when I think we woke up. I think we woke up around 5 to watch the Riyadh season card. And so it's super weird here. Like I'm used to, being on my couch at dinner time watching fights, and now we're like rubbing our eyes, like making breakfast,
right. So
watching Riyadh
adjusting to the
season
new
cards,
time frame, yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But you know what? At the end of the day, like even let's just say you did gas out. Like the thing is that you tried and you're doing something that's healthy. So it doesn't like people are always going to talk mess, and those are the people that are sitting on the
right,
couch right now, which you're growing, whether or not you know it. You're growing physically, mentally, and spiritually by moving.
hmm,
So even if you didn't fight, even if you just sparred, like that's still more than you did
right,
yesterday or 2 months
right,
ago or a year ago. So congratulations. I'm proud of you for doing that because not a lot of people and the fact that you stepped in the ring, that takes it to a whole
right,
nother level, right? There's people that we call gym champions all the time. There's cardio boxing, that, they do beautiful, fun little repetitious, memorized movements, but it really doesn't do anything. So when it comes to
mhm,
fighting, right? So when you're actually fighting, you have to use all your
right,
capacities, to get
all
through
of it,
those, 2 or 3 minutes. So no, big ups to you, dude. I mean, like, don't let anyone tell you, you did bad or that, talk. People are gonna talk shit. It's a
yeah,
fight game, but you're a step ahead because you're doing
right,
something, for
yeah,
yourself, not even for
right.
anything else, for yourself. So, keep
Yeah,
doing
that's
it.
what made it a little easy for me to get up in the morning because I kept telling myself, "Edwin, you asked for this." And then some days I'm like, "Damn, did I get it over my head?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm really feeling it." But it was just it was a moment that and an experience I needed to know that I can do. It was a challenge. Yeah, it was challenging. I remember the first time I sparred, the guy hit me with 3 punches, drained me of all my power. I couldn't go no further. I had to get past that. I had to get past these windows of fatigue, and it was just a lot. But like you said, and a lot of people have alluded to it, like it was so worth it. Like the cardio that I got, and just the mindset that I can do it. I don't think
Mhm.
anybody knows what that's like unless you go through it. That feeling even after
Yeah.
or everything was all said and done. Like I wanted to hug the shit out of OC the boss because I was thankful that he also showed up, that he gave me his best. That you know what I mean? And that we went in
Yeah.
there and that we were both fine after it. He went back home to his family the same way he got there, and I went back home to mine, which I thought that was the most important thing. And second was the ability to compete for me. And that did it for me right there. I was okay with that. It wasn't about me ripping off my shirt and impressing my girlfriend or anything like that. Not a, it was
No, that's
just
just an added bonus.
yeah, yeah, thank you. And so it's like it's an outlet. It's an outlet, and it was for me, and I
Mhm.
used it as that. So that's why I think when people ask me, "What are you crazy? Are you getting money, or what are you doing?" Like, I just want to express that to them that it was out of the love for the sport. It really was.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go.
Yes.
I have to get ready for another stream that I promised in like a half an hour, and Nonito's getting up already, so I gotta key
Thank you
in.
for stopping by. Thank you for
No, of
stopping by.
course.
Please let everybody in the chat know where they can find you on your
I'm on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Donaire on Twitter. I'm knockout underscore queen. I am still trying to figure out what stream it is for Nonito's fight. I just talked to
Please.
the Japanese counterpart, and they said that they haven't figured it out with Top Rank yet. So I have no idea how the US is supposed to be viewing it. I know how the Philippines is, but that doesn't help you guys.
Right.
So, but yeah,
If there's
I will be.
anything if there's anything, please hit me up. Hit me in the gram, whatever. If you can find out any stream that I can get more fans to view in on your husband's fight and I can get it out there to the viewers in the US, I will help in any way. So if keep me informed on that. If you find out anything, shoot it to me. Let me know the link or anything, and I'll put it on my show, and we'll get it out to the most viewing audiences that we can to get your husband the exposure he deserves for this fight.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll see you guys
Absolutely.
later. Bye,
Thank
chat.
you. Bye bye. Well, okay. They've been sitting in the back for a while. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
What's
up,
up?
y'all?
What's up? What's going on? Talk
Nothing
to me.
much,
Talk
John.
to me.
Nothing, chilling, chilling. Just was I was in the chat. I was telling you to put Rachel on, man. You was having your little round one rant real quick, the way
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like to
yeah.
do. But I was like, I'll wait it through. But at first, I
Mhm.
ain't gonna lie, I had hit the chat about the nonsense from the TBV the other day, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you Hibarito like me, and I just Nestor be tweaking lately, bro. It's a fact, bro. He he's getting a
Yeah.
little he's getting a little egotistical because he been around for so long, and it's just pretty obvious. I watch all of these channels every day. I talk to Ryan up north. I be in the other Johnny's channel, the other Puerto Rican dude that be with y'all. But y'all need to just start y'all own panel, bro. Every morning it's the same garbage at this point. It's gossip. Then he yells at somebody a little bit. He gets really loud, trying to push his point. That he might use AI. He like to use his little Gemini, whatever he call her, and then be like, then look, Rachel Donaire proved the whole damn show that he got going on lately. His new stereotype wrong. Rachel even said it. What are you supposed to do? We're supposed to use suicided. We ain't supposed to be out here just making wild guesses. He acts like he don't push agendas, but he sure the hell do, bro. And I'm gonna lie, I listen to these channels every single day, bro. Every single one of them. Nestor is playing this game a little too hard. He knows the most seasoned in the podcasts. So he's just taking his time. He's doing almost what Turkey on, just playing his own game, which it ain't cool no more. What is Two Tone doing every day? You speak more better boxing sense than Two Tone. He got Two Tone there every damn day, bro, gritando like a girl. Like we
Mhm.
don't need that, bro. We don't need that. I like boxing. I like the real sport. I know it's entertainment, like I say, but we gotta actually talk about the sport, bro. Not doing the shit he does, pick somebody to yell at for the week and stir up a couple new views. That's it, bro. Like honestly, I ain't even check in after he did that weird shit. You like
Mhm.
you said, you 51. I'm 35. We grown ass men. Why is he talking like a little girl on the channel every day? We don't want to hear that shit.
That
Then
was
he went and got Star. Después también he went
yeah,
and got
yeah.
Star. Who the hell is Star? What is that, bro? Ella no sabe nada de boxeo. She just sits there. You know what it is? Like I said, he's stirring pot and doing what he has to do to continue getting views. Since he's at the top, he don't want to lose that up there. But that eventually he's gonna lose it. There's a lot of new channels. There's your channel. There's the other Johnny channel. There's Ryan Up North channel. There's a lot of them. Coach Malachi podcast. Bro, there's so many people. Like I said, I check all of these channels. Honestly, TBV just looks professional. They got their little what is it? The board words for people, which is cool, but the chitter chatter shit is dead, bro. It's done.
Mm. Well, I be on the show and everything, and it's just in my pursuit of getting more exposure. There's more people to talk with. It's a bigger audience. I get it right now, right? And that's my goal. I want to get there. I'm gonna bring round one up with us and start a new way of, well, not a new way, I wouldn't say, but my own way of bringing in how we view the sport and how it should be talked about. Now, I'm in agreement with you. None of us should be when you're on someone's platform and you're talking or discussing things, and all of a sudden the person he's no longer talking to you, he's talking down to you,
Yeah,
and
he disrespected
he's
totally,
swearing
bro.
and disrespecting. Now that's a there's a difference. You could still get your opinion off and still teach. Now we go to your show for one reason and one reason only, is to educate, learn more about boxing, and to get our viewpoints off if we choose, we would choose so. So when you're going there and you're no longer getting that and you're just snapping, but and then I realized, I stepped back yesterday. What really made me go back was the overwhelming texts and messages from people supporting me and saying, "Nah,
Yeah,
Iran one,
me. That's how I
you
felt.
good,
Like that's
you
why
good for the
I
show,
didn't want to
you good."
watch his show after that shit. I don't want to see that shit no more after this. Cause it's gotten to the point where, bro, and it's not cause I'm Puerto Rican too. You Puerto Rican like me, but like we know the way we treat each other in our culture.
Mhm.
Hablamos mierda a little bit. We get a little
Yeah,
animated. That's how you do. Like you sound like me, honest.
right,
Sometimes we get
right.
hyper, but then we understand. But he got crazy talking about I'm stepping on things. You don't
Yeah,
talk right. You're
yeah, yeah,
stupid.
yeah. You stupid
That's
stuff.
girly
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And
not.
then
Yeah.
honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I got into it with him in the chat the other day in Ryan's channel. He was up there in the chat, and I ain't gonna lie. I told him, I said, why you can't let us chat for free? We don't want to pay for chatting. And he goes, I can't believe there's a nigga up here that hating on me. You got a whole white woman to worry about. Mind you, my nigga, my wife was laughing because, bro, we just had our fourth kid. I've been with my wife for like fucking 12 years, bro. So she
Mhm.
was dying. She was like, that's how little girls talk. I was like, exactly. This nigga's crazy, bro. I'm
You
done
know
with
what I?
the boxing voice.
Now check it out. You know what I told him to, and I said I wasn't gonna go back and talk to him until 8 days pass, because he's been on this stem thing. He ain't smoked no weed, so he's over there tweaking on everybody and fucking arguing with everybody. And I'm like, yo, my man, you really need to smoke. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck with you until you smoke. So I went on today, like chill for a minute, but and then I hopped off because until he
Yo, but
smoked,
nah, honestly, you know what you should tell him next show? Like, genuinely, I'm not trying to be crazy or nothing, but like, just tell him, yo, honestly, you know you didn't have to talk to me like that, bro. Publicly, you did that shit. We meant. It was only right you make it right. Like, bro, did you intentionally try to discredit me like that? Like, you shouldn't talk to me like that in front of fucking people, bro.
Mhm.
Everybody's seeing that shit. As a man, then as a man, you apologize like a man. Like, okay, guys, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to do my boy Johnny like this. I'm tweaking a little. He just, I don't know.
I
That's
don't
not a
know if
way to
you.
stir up
Yeah,
views.
yeah. I went on the Boxing Voice today, this morning, and I said almost exactly what you
Yeah.
said, Poppy. Yeah, man. We Puerto Rican, we think alike, I think. Because I don't even think you saw the show, but you almost said
Nah, I didn't.
thirty
I didn't
percent of
see
what I
that
said.
shit.
You probably said thirty
Yeah.
percent of what I said, but I went on there and I took my side of the street. I said, "Yo, I apologize, but I just want to let everybody know that when he was saying go to Google, whatever, I don't. I can take constructive criticism. I can be proven wrong. I'm a human. I'm subject to error and mistake. But what I can't take is for you to start talking to me in a manner that is disrespectful. You're no longer talking to me. Now you don't have to
Have you
like
noticed
try to
something with this channel though?
belittle me to
He
try to
has
be
like
like,
a setup though. He has it set up in a way that I don't even think you guys notice. He can't get corrected no more. Because look, if you look in the chat, that's why he came at me crazy the other day in Ryan's channel. Because you can't criticize him on his channel. He has the chat on members only. So don't you think that only the biased people that want to be with him are paying those memberships
right,
to chat? So then when he's in the chat looking at everybody, yeah, he got conflicting people on sides, but majority still agree with him because it's people buying for his membership on
it's his
his
show.
channel.
Yeah, it's his show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like you have even your channel, Ryan's channel. That's why I come up here and talk. And even Greg Hackett's, I be on Greg Hackett's channel. Yeah, I
Mhm.
talk on these channels because it's free. We get to talk to you people in the community. It's like the touch base.
Right.
People
Right.
that and like I train too, so I know boxing. I'm not gonna listen to those guys on TBV that sound like they eat cheese doodles all day and smoke bogeys, and then they want to talk about boxing all day. That shit's
Mhm.
crazy.
Right, right, right. Koki, how you doing, brother?
Yo, mi hermano, what's up, bro?
What's going on, my brother, man? Talk to me. Talk to
Yo,
me.
what's
What's
good,
going
man?
on?
What's going
Yo,
on in the Boxing Boys?
Well, me Ness crashed out. He crashed out on me,
he
and
sure the hell did.
he crashed out. And when I called him out on it, and I was like, "Yo, slow down! Why you talking to me like that? Why is your vein popping out the side of your neck?" You know, you saw that it kind of clicked in him, but he was already going on his rant. Then we
He
went
was
on a
acting
rant.
like a little nana.
Yeah, and now
Mm.
remind you, I got kicked off because I was going in the aid of the defense of Subriel Matias. That's what I got kicked off for.
Oh, so
Um,
he kicked you off just like on some.
yeah, no, he booted me off the show because he
Out
was
of the
saying
live, yeah,
he
he
he was
booted him
saying
in the live. I was watching that
he
shit live
he
when it
was saying
happened.
some
It
shit.
made me turn the channel off, bro.
He was saying some shit about Subriel Matias, right? Which was also hypothetical. But when I said it hypothetical, he went all crazy because if he can say that Subriel Matias was in a ring and that he tested positive and he killed a man in the ring, brother, that's a hypothetical. You don't got no proof that he was in the ring on drugs on him. So how can you say that? But when I say I think an investigation was launched and I think he was clean, he went crazy. Round one, you don't got no evidence on that. You can't say that investigation was launched. You don't got no Google's your friend, blah blah blah. And I was
Edwin,
like,
Edwin, you know what's funny, man? I think no matter what, man, Ness loves the narrative of Matias being dirty. Because, like my man right here mentioned, the members, right? They pay for his content. And they know that those little short videos talking about, yo, Matias popped hot, Matias popped hot. He knows that's going to get clicks and views like nonstop. Because if Matias is the villain, right? Then your man Haney got somebody to like, okay, we're gonna get him next. You know what I'm saying? So it's all political over there. I know that for sure. That's the Haney voice. Matias was talking shit about Haney a couple years ago. You remember that with Bill Haney and Bill Haney lying about Peter Khan and all this bullshit that, oh, we want to fight the boogeyman, all this bullshit, right? But when
mm,
Matias was in Arizona, them niggas were nowhere to show up. Then they were like missing. Matias showed up to Arizona. He went to the West Coast. He's like, yo, I want this fight. And then Haney went to, 147, da da da. But Matias, bro, no matter if he's under one, they're gonna be like, yo, he's a dirty fighter, no matter what. And that's why I don't watch that channel personally. Like, I think, you being there has that like that contrast, you know what I'm saying? Because like if you wasn't on the panel, it'd be a lot of motherfuckers agreeing with each other, Like you bring
right.
that contrast. And that's why I appreciate you being on there. Cause like Ness needs that energy because I feel like Ness crashes out because I'm gonna be real with you. I think he has problems with his wife. I I
You,
think I think at home, bro, his wife is giving him some shit and then he tries to take it on people on the panel. That's how I feel. That's it.
I can't say that, but I know one thing is for sure that I can't surround myself with yes men. I need opinion. I need flavor. I need people to tell me, their own opinion. I can't be called something and then be mad because somebody shares their opinion. You're the boxing voice where you're supposed to give everybody, but if I don't agree with you, and then sometimes, but Ness is fair, and Ness does know his shit. So the one thing I give him when he's calm, he's sharp. When he's on his A game, but and then it gets to this, and this is the part we don't like. That's all. But the kind of exposure that I got with him, I went to New York City for fucking Jake Paul and Tank Davis. He got me access to that. So I can't say that the man hasn't,
I
you
mean, yo,
know,
I'll be real with you, Edward. I knew you before you got on the Boxing Voice. I saw your videos pop up. Frontline was here. I remember people talking about you in the other Puerto Rican chats because you know how Puerto Rican chats has like different. They got
really?
different live channels. So like you was part of that shit. Be like, yo, we're gonna be out to round one, and then yeah, it's like Bang Bang too. Bang Bang could tell you. I'm sure Bang Bang knew that you was on way before you got into the
Yeah.
TBV.
No, Bang Bang is the one that put me onto the TBV.
Mm.
Bang Bang, me
Yo,
and Bang Bang,
Johnny, just,
we were
just
talking.
one
Yeah.
thing though. Make sure you always remember this. I know you older than me, but like I've been through a lot in my life and they really have people stick their neck out for me at all. I had to do everything for myself. just always remember, even when people do things for you, you're not obliged to bend over for them in any way,
Right.
shape, or form. They did that out on their own will. And even if you were to reap the extra rewards for being in they company, it's
Yep.
still not worth your morals and standing on your 10 toes. Like fuck
100.
all that fame and glory.
100.
If you have, yeah, if you have to, you dig your way up the mud. Look at how Rachel Donaire was in your chat today. Without you ain't need Ness for that. You ain't need TBV for that. That was her today on her own, and we was all bigging it up. We was all waiting patiently. You see, we waited all this long.
Hmm.
That means you have a fan base of your own. You just gotta, stay consistent. Don't just keep your head down and just do what you gotta do, because Nestor is not the motherfucking Don King of boxing podcasts. This shit is crazy.
Nah, we're gonna bring up round one sports talk, and it's gonna be us. You know what I'm saying? People like us that are gonna come by and build up this show and this program, and we're gonna teach educational boxing, and we're gonna give every boxer their just due, and we're gonna call it like we see it. We're gonna pick our sides, and we're not gonna be a bunch of yes men around here, and we're gonna talk about
Yeah, for real.
real boxing,
Yeah,
and all weight
educated
divisions.
guesses.
So it's
Yeah.
like, look, man, guys, everybody here around One Sports Talk, I want to thank you guys, and I gotta put this round one on a better schedule, and stick by it, and
Yeah, yeah. If you could come out with by the weekend, like if with an idea, like at least have 3 days you dedicated to, 3 out of the 7, even if it's one weekend and 2 weekdays, or the
right.
weekend days and like one weekday. Like it's just something for us to at least know, like, and be there on time. Cause just to combat with this bullshit channels that surround. I ain't gonna keep saying no names, but
Hmm.
yeah, like just to have your own fluent, dedicated fan base, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever times it is, even if we at work, we gotta do like we do with these other channels. Let it play, have that view up there. Like that's what I'm telling you. That's what I do. Sometimes I'm just sitting here. You've never heard me talk to you. I've listened to your channel for like well over a year. And that's why I say I take my time. I actually like boxing. I train for years. I used to train in New Haven with Chad Dawson, so like I know a
Mhm.
lot of this shit. Like it's not for kicks and fun and giggles. So
You
when
in
I
you
listen,
in
I
Connecticut?
sometimes get a yes, sir, in New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh, okay. I used to live in up there by Hartford. I'm from the Bronx though, but I was in Connecticut for like a year.
I'm from the Bronx too. I moved over here when I was like 15, and then I used to
Oh
train
shit!
down
How
there at
was that,
Ring One.
bro?
Yeah, it was a crazy transition coming from New York to New Haven. I
Yeah,
moved to
I
the
feel
hood,
like
but
that, bro.
I thought it was the country. I'm not gonna lie. My dad said he did it for the betterment of me and my brothers. He said if we didn't come out of the Bronx would have raised us
Yeah,
before
no,
he
it's
got
true.
to
It's
raise
true.
us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He goes, New York City, you can't raise a family. The city will raise the family for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I had to, like you mentioned, you had to do things for yourself, and I relate to that for sure. I'm from Burnside originally, though. I was born in Fajardo, Puerto Rico, but I moved to the Bronx when I was 5.
Oh, nice, my Hiwaro brother.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you know what's up, man. Edwin too. Edwin
Yeah.
also from he's from the New England side. So, us to being from the Bronx, like I'm just like you. I used to think that shit was like the country, like New England, Connecticut. I was like, yo, what's all these
Yeah,
houses? Like there's no buildings here.
exactly.
Brother,
Bro,
check this out. Hold up, real quick. I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I was raised there until I was 13 in Newark, North Side, right? So there was like this in Newark, bro. It's crazy. So when I came out to Massachusetts, I found Massachusetts a bit slow, but I still lived in the city. Where I
yeah.
live now is the real sticks. My neighbor has 2 horses. My other neighbor has chickens. They give me eggs in the morning.
El Campo.
I live in
Yo,
the
y'all
sticks
want to know
now.
where I live now? I live in a border town called West Haven. 2 blocks from where I live right now is just sand and water. It's just water, bro.
Yeah,
People
I've been
fishing and
there.
shit.
I've been by the Metro
Yeah,
North over there. I used to take the Metro North from 125th
yeah,
all the way to
bro.
New
The Metro
Haven.
North lets you off at West Haven. You could
Yeah,
get
that's
off
where all the
right
fucking
there and walk
crackheads
up
be
the
at and shit.
street.
Like all the fiend heads and shit on there.
They be
Yo,
on that strip.
if you stay on to the other side, yeah, because New Haven is really ghetto, bro.
Nah,
If
yeah,
you
it's
stay
Yeah.
ghetto,
on that,
bro.
yeah, once you get to New Haven, it's bad. I lived there when I first got here, and my friends was like, "You moved to the hood," but no, they be deers running through the hood and shit over there. It's different than the city. They be deers. So, bro, I
Yo.
was one day when my
Deers with
boys is
crack
shooting
pipes.
dice. Yes, bro. Yo, that's fucked up. You said that one time. This nigga I knew had put a bandana on deer while it was running down the street,
Oh
like on some
man,
crazy shit.
Ah,
Yeah,
you
that's
got
a
deers
whole
game
nother
banging out
story.
there.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
nigga, my dad brought us here, and I thought there was farms nearby because I ain't know deers ran free in the street and
Oh
shit. I
man, I
didn't know
feel
that.
you.
No, no, no. You know how I really showed my true colors here, right? So we move in here, and I'm like the city slicker, right? And everybody's like, like farm people. So all of a sudden, wife comes home, and two little cub bears come running through my yard. So she's like, Edwin. And I'm like, baby, both of us don't gotta die. You know what I'm saying? I'll love you from here. So she's like, fuck you. I'm like, baby, come on, turn on the lights and back out. Be for real. So the little cub bears run through my yard, but I never saw like the mama bear. I never saw her. I just saw the two little ones. So, I'm thinking I'm doing my due diligence. I'm running around to every fucking house, knocking on the doors. Hey, listen, a bear sighting. Keep your kids in the house. They're like, man, city slicker. Yeah, that's fucking Harold and Jimmy there. You know what
Oh
I mean?
God.
My kids are
They
probably
named them
wrestling.
shits.
My kids are probably wrestling with the two bears right now in the backyard. Get back in your home, you city slicker. So I felt so small because like that's everyday life to them. They okay, yeah, you see one running, leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. Don't have any food out. If you see a deer running through, it's just everyday things. And then the quiet part, not hearing ambulances and fire trucks going by all night in the city, that fucked me up. Like when I
Yeah,
came out here, it was
how
too
you feel about
quiet.
coming back to Brooklyn? Coming back to Brooklyn January 10th for the Matias fight.
Yeah.
Oh, just to visit? Okay, but not to stay. I'm cool. I adjusted out here now. I've been out here almost 6 years. I
I
like
feel
the
Yeah,
you.
I can't live
tranquility.
back in New York. There's no way in
Nah, I
hell I
go out
can
to
move
New
back.
York. I feel like an old man. There are too many beeps, and I'm like, beep, beep. Like, I've been away from this shit too long. Yo,
I'm numb to it. I'm numb to it personally because I've been in the Bronx and I'm in
right,
Westchester and shit. But I'm new to it. I mean I'm numb to it. My bad, numb to it. But I'm not gonna stay here. Just like you guys. I'm gonna get out. I got a little spot in Loquillo, Puerto Rico. I
mm,
got a spot out there. Uh, I'm gonna open up a PT clinic because I do physical therapy, rehabilitation and shit. So I'm gonna hook that up.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
I'm around like a bilingual clinic for people, older people that have MS, quadriplegics, paraplegics, even people who got dementia. People who got memory loss, like getting them back to working out, working on their memory and shit. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm only here for now for the money, but ideally, I'm more happy in Puerto Rico. When I'm in Puerto Rico, bro, I fit in like a glove. Like,
As long as you don't got no wife, no kids, you good to
oh
go.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got all this
bro, I'm
crazy
blessed, man.
opportunity,
Never
man.
been married, no kids, no wife.
Oh,
I'm staying on my career shit. So.
I don't know if any of you guys ever went to Puerto Rico on vacation with your wife. It just like I went to the island and I was just like, man, I was having a great time, but so many pompies were going by, man. It was just too much. I was just like, damn. I was like, I I was I wish I was young. I wish I was like 20 years old or something. I would have did this. I would have came out here, I would have had
Honestly,
a great time, you
I don't
know?
think I'm gonna come back if I go because I haven't gone with my family because I just had our newborn. So I haven't
Oh,
gone with my
congrats.
wife and my 4 kids yet. Thank you. But I got a piece of property that my family own and it has like a kitchen, everything, bedrooms and
Oh,
stuff, and they
nice.
hold it for
Yeah.
me. But I've never taken them and I promised to do it eventually, but I
Right,
haven't yet. They always
right,
call me like every month or two. They like, yo, when you gonna come? But I've never taken them because I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time in PR as a kid.
right.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely part of the plan too. I think they're gonna keep asking you until you go.
Hell
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
There's a lot of places in Puerto
Hmm.
Rico I still wanna
Yeah,
see.
I think too. Yeah, I think it's because my grandma, it's her brothers and stuff over there.
Oh, God
And
bless her.
basically, she used to visit every year. But my grandma passed away in
Oh,
February.
yo, rest in peace. Yo,
So like
grandmothers
they're
are vital, bro.
yeah, so like they want to keep a connection to the family that was in the mainland, which is us. And so like I'm the only one that had grandkids. I'm the only nigga in my family. I'm
Oh,
35 and I'm the only one with babies. Everybody else don't want to have kids and shit. And
wow.
that's between my cousins, my brothers, everybody. I'm the only one. There's only 6 great grandchildren and 4 of them are mine.
You know,
Hey,
what you want to do is, you want to keep your kids sometimes, if you know, if you have the right ones or whatever, right, around
Yeah.
your grandparents, because your grandparents are the oldest people in your family. They're the historians, actually, of your family.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when you're around them, you know, that's how I learned the most about my mom, actually, was my grandmom. By asking her, "How was mom like?" or "What she doing?" And she said, "Your mom used to do this when she was little," or this. And without you knowing, she's passing down your family history. So if you still have your grandmothers out there, I don't have none on either side
Me
anymore.
neither. Yeah, I
You
did
know,
cherish it though when she was alive.
yeah.
I have a lot of videos, and
Try
my
to always, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
my daughter and my son, they got to interact with her a lot, and so
Yeah,
like I keep her memory around. And since they started learning Spanish with her, I still play a lot of salsa, and I
yeah,
speak to them when I can.
yeah.
But
yeah, that's
yeah,
good,
right.
man.
I
Keeping the
gotta go
culture
back
in
to
there.
PR.
Speaking of
Yeah,
which,
bro, I
that's the
got
one
to.
thing I regret, not teaching my kids Spanish better, like really being on them about that, and allowing America to steal my tongue,
Yeah.
not knowing the importance of passing that down to my kids. And later in life, seeing it, like I do it more with my grandkids now, like we really speak to them. But I think it's because, you know, I grew up late in life. I
Yeah,
didn't have a
yeah.
lot of responsibility. I live a careless life, free life. Just it was me, the world, and wherever I ended up. Let's go, let's get it. But now that I'm older, though, if I can, if anybody would hear this, no matter what nationality, no matter what race you are, pass your tongue down to the next generation. That's my biggest advice. Don't let them kill your tongue.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank
Yo,
you, bro. Yeah, yeah,
Edwin, real quick, my
y'all
bad.
motive.
Yeah,
Uh
my
huh.
bad. Frontline is asking, who you got between Roach and Pitbull?
I
Oh
got,
shit.
I got, ironically, I'm gonna go with Pitbull. Roach, I think, is a better boxer, whatever, but you got to go 36 minutes against a hooker. That's all he's up. He throws hard hook shots left and right. No jabs. You don't got to worry about a jab. You don't got to worry. And he's just one fireball. And at any given time, you know, I like Roach in the Tank fight. I always like the underdog. I like Isa Pitbull Cruz in this fight. He's the underdog. And I got him. You know, it's a fight we shouldn't be having, but exciting fight. Two little guys getting in there, fucking slugging it out. I don't think neither of these guys are going to be boring. Yeah, there's a version where I see Lamar Roach beating Isa Pitbull Cruz, of course. Yes, just like Ryo did. Yes. Uh, but just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go with Isa Pitbull Cruz. Come on, Cruz.
What makes this a good ass show, bro? That's
Yeah.
what makes this shit work good. Cause like, bro, see who does that? You willing to just make it open to the public? Man, I'ma just go with this guy.
Yeah,
That's some shit, bro.
come on,
Like,
man.
I ain't gonna lie. I do not agree. I do pick Lamont Roach, but for me, that's what's up, bro. Like, this is the whole point. We gotta have debates on it and
yeah,
go against
yeah,
each other and shit.
Yeah, I
yeah,
had to give you.
man.
I want something one different. I got a draw. I got a controversial draw in that fight.
Hey, yo, that'd be
You remember
live.
the Tank Davis and Pitbull fight? Remember how like
Right.
that was kind of like I know Tank Davis won that fight
Yeah.
for sure, but you know, at the end of the fight, it was like, oh, Tank hurt his shoulder, and people were like, yo, what happened to Tank? He didn't knock him out because back then Tank was knocking everybody out, and it's
Right.
like he didn't knock down this 22-year-old fucking Olmec head Aztec looking motherfucker Pitbull Cruz. He didn't knock him out, but I don't know. I think it'd be close.
Well,
That's
you want to
crazy. You
know?
called
You
them a Olmec head.
hold on, yo, check it out, Check
He
it out.
got that big ass head, yo. Yo. Anytime we had a Mexican in high school, because I went to high school in the Bronx, you know what we called him? We called him cabeza.
Cabeza. Yeah.
All of them had big ass
That's
heads,
fucked
bro.
up.
Yo, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. If Lamont Roach can do what Tank Davis couldn't do and stop Esau Pitbull Cruz, it would speak to Lamont Roach's claim that he actually really won that fight against Tank. Because Tank couldn't stop Esau Pitbull Cruz. He went the distance with him. You see? So if Lamont can stop him, that would really solidify what he's been saying. Yo, this wasn't a draw. You guys know he took the knee, and it would add to it. You see what I'm saying? But if Esau beats Lamont Roach, it's going to kind of say that the night that he had against Tank was a fluke. And people are going to turn around and say, he should have never been here in the first place. Why is he fighting?
Did you guys realize that one? Yep. See, that's some good evidence to analyze real quick. Why Tank didn't give Pitbull Cruz that rematch? The same reason he took that other route from Lamont. That gave him, those was his two toughest fights. He don't want to pull on them strings. Yeah, he don't want to give it that second chance.
Those two guys are fighting each other.
That's the whole point, I think.
These are the Tank Davis survival victims. The guys that went the distance with Tank. These are the guys he couldn't knock out.
Yeah, I think genuinely, these are the two guys that put some type of, because I'm not going to use that word. We can't say it. He respects them way more than we may know, because for him to not want to fight back and double back and clear it up on both of those guys, that shows you the kind of character he really has.
And for anybody to say, oh, Tank a fight, Esau Pitbull Cruz, blah, 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 blah. No. When you say things immediately after the fight, remember when you first heard that? Tank said that while he was still in the ring. They're like, yo, you fight him again? Hell no, he was tough.
And then he said he broke his hand. That was from when he broke it on his head.
The truth. He was speaking the truth. Tank
he's letting y'all know secretly, like, yeah, I can't do this shit again.
You know, so yeah, that's why this fight right here for me is pretty big. I mean, the fight card itself, you know, I do want to see O'Shaughnessy Foster against Stephen Kubo Fulton. You know, I wanna see that fight.
I see a lot of people picking Fulton.
Yes, I'm picking Fulton too.
Damn.
I'm picking O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, I'm picking Foster, bro. I'm not sure if Fulton is he's good. I just think O'Fossey has like that. He got that tenacity, bro. Like, I mean, he's not a knockout guy, but he knows how to fight in the clinches. You know, he's like a very compact, technical guy. He knows how to
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. The make it or break it sometimes for me is just like you know how I mentioned I did everything on my own. Certain dudes, you could just see it in their eye. They the same as you. Like O'Shaughnessy, you could tell he really don't. He don't need no crew. He don't need nobody. He really is like one of them ones. He's really trying to show you something.
He's really into the boxing shit. You could tell. And
he's not happy neither with the. He's not happy with the way they're promoting it too, because he's the champion. And if you see the way it's spoken of, they're treating it as if Stephen Fulton is the front line, and he's not. He's not. He doesn't even have the belt.
My bad, Edwin. Frontline wants to let Reggie know to come by fight night for the Nostradamus belt here on round one.
Oh yeah, he's
Frontline says he's the reigning champ of being in, you know, predicting things right.
Hold on. Didn't I get the Devin Haney 12 round? You know, round one got one. Stop. You know what I mean?
Oh shit. Yo. So I gotta. What happened with Frontline said I gotta do what? I gotta be which one?
You gotta come by. You gotta come by for fight night for the this Saturday. So when you come by this Saturday, come this Saturday.
I'll log in on Saturday so I can talk with y'all about it.
Yeah. We watch the fight. And we have the prestigious Notre Dame's belt. Where that you come here to Round One Sports Talk and try to take the belt from me and my panelists and my guests in the chat. What you got to do is you got to guess the round and the fighter. And if you can do that, Las Vegas might as well be calling you because you're Notre Dame's You know
Yeah.
how to call these fights.
Yeah.
You know
Shit.
what I'm saying?
But yo,
So
So y'all putting me on
Rob
the
would be treated that shit
spotlight
like,
for
yo, he be treated that
Saturday.
shit
That's
like we in
crazy.
prison though. Like, yo, he be taking a notebook and then writing everybody's names. Like, okay, what number you got? What number you got? He
yeah,
be acting
yeah,
like he's in a cell block.
listen. I gotta make sure that there's no controversy, okay? You know,
Bet.
and
I'll be here for shit
hey,
then.
yo, and the only answer that gets written in pencil is mine, just in case I gotta, change it. No te
You a
deje.
sneaky Puerto
Yo,
Rican.
no te deje. No, don't let round one them play you like that. You better get on. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them lie
Nah,
to
hell
you.
no.
Don't let them
I'ma
lie to
have the
you.
Tate Vix t-shirt.
Yeah, nah. We have a great time here. We talk about the fights and everything, and we this is what we do. Exactly what we're doing right here. Tune in on fight night, and you see we be having a blast.
I'll be there on
You know
Saturday
what I
then,
mean?
definitely.
Yeah, listen, guys. My wife needs me to go over here and squeeze her butt for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
She's been
There you
trying to
go.
get
Do your
my
thing, man.
attention. Listen, but I love you guys. Thank you for
Yeah, yeah.
hopping
Much respect
on.
to everybody on the
You
panel.
know, and much respect to
Facts. You
everybody
too,
that.
dog.
Yeah, yeah. Nice
Yeah,
meeting you. Welcome, and definitely come
Reggie.
by this Saturday, man. I know Frontline's gonna be live again this week, but
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I'll be there with y'all then.
And
I'll hop
and
on. I'll be watching them shits.
yes,
and thank you,
sir.
Fight Family. Thank you, Fight Family, for tuning in. It's been another amazing episode. Thank you for Rachel Donaire for stopping by and sharing her boxing insight and and letting us know how things are done in some of these organizations.
Yeah, shout out to Chang for the super chat. He just dropped a 20 for you.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he
look
said,
at
"Yo, bro,
that. Look
can't
at
wait for
that.
Monster
Oh,
December
this Jay, my
27."
man Jay at the bottom. I didn't see the messages. How you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for everybody for stopping by here at Round One Sports Talk. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, and like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for the super chats, and I'm out.